Calling all change makers rebels, those who have spent their life as outliers, those on the edge, on the fringe, maybe even those who have been waiting for the moment for their idea to realize, to pop, to be in motion. All of you who are used to being on the outskirts, I'm going to call you to the front for today's message. And in addition, those of you who are not used to that energy, stay tuned because today we are going to discuss the energy of Aquarius and the current conjunction. Peace, my name is Stacy Patrice. Welcome back to my channel where on most days I talk quite a bit about sidereal astrology and the Vedic tradition and how those insights really help us to live our lives in a soulful way. So today I want to talk about Aquarius and I want to talk about the conjunction because right now there are a lot of people that are looking at what is happening in the sky from a different perspective, a different lens. But I want to show you how this lens really does resonate and what there is in it for you as you begin to plan your way towards the big vision. So currently here in February, end of February, almost the very end of February of 2026, we currently have a grand stellium, a big stellium and conjunction in Aquarius. And that includes the Sun, Mercury traveling retrograde, Rahu, Venus, and Mars. That is our current conjunction in Aquarius. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. But first, I think it's really important to understand what time this is because although this event is happening, it is not isolated. We are also in just a couple days into the beginning of March, my birthday season, woohoo, into the beginning of March, we are also looking at the eclipse that is about to happen, a total lunar eclipse, as we have a full moon upcoming. So we are currently waxing. But then it is also the fact that we have Jupiter looking pretty conjunct to the moon. And what does that mean, right? And so typically I don't even do videos like this. I don't even like to do videos about transits or current transits because that video has a very short shelf life. But whether you are into astrology, Vedic or tropical, whether you are into transits or not, I want you to stay tuned to this video because I do feel there is still information there that will be very important for you to understand Aquarius in your chart in particular, right? So one of the things that I tell people all the time, and I've said this on previous videos, we are every sign. And knowing that we are every sign, we have to understand that an energy is not just connected to a person's sun sign, like, oh, that's them. We have to also understand that those energies are present within all of us, whether we have planets there or not, by natural chart, birth chart, or by transit. Those energies will become relevant at some point in time in our lives, not to mention the area or domain where that sign is present. So it is very important to remember that we are every sign. Even if your sun is not in Aquarius, even if your sun or your moon is elsewhere, it is very important to remember that we are every sign. One of the first things that I want to talk about with this is the reminder that as it relates to where we think about Aquarius. You first want to look at your chart. First, look at your natal chart and say, where is Aquarius in my chart? What is the house? What is the domain? And what's happening in that domain? So you might want to pause the video and just look at that or pull it up next to this video as I'm talking and just look at what Aquarius is over, what domain Aquarius is over in your chart. Okay. So that's the first thing. The second thing we have to look at that's really important is what is the energy of Aquarius? Not who do you know that's Aquarius, what is the energy of Aquarius, right? And we know that Aquarian energy is change oriented, it is transformation oriented, even more so than some people think about other signs. It's at the end of the zodiac. So it is a final level kind of transformation, right? It's like the final form, right? So it is this transformation that is related to community and groups and society. It is also very much related to our human concerns and travels, the ways in which we relate to each other. So there's a relationship component that is connected to Aquarius. And in addition to that, it happens to be the sign that indicates withdrawing and sometimes being a little aloof because it is so human oriented. Sometimes you have to get a feel of what that energy really is. What is that energy that I'm sensing and feeling? And how is that energy speaking right now? So when I think about Aquarian energy, I always use the icon of the water bearer. And I always tell the story, and it's different every time, about what the water bearer really represents in my eyes. And the water bearer is seen as this figure that is carrying this vessel full of water on the shoulders, on the broad shoulders, right? And we know the shoulders represent carrying the weight of the world, right? So the water bearer is holding this vessel full of water. We know water is about feeling and emotion and the ways in which people feel, and sometimes even the psychic conditions or the ways in which we look at how water is perceived as a way to purify or cleanse or clear or wash off something that is no longer wanted. So we have the water bearer carrying this. And then we have, at a certain point, the water bearer pouring the water. And so, what's that water? Is it the water bearer's water or is it our water? And I like to look at it from both angles, right? So, first of all, look at it from the collective's water. It is the collective pain, the feeling, the suffering, the condition of humanity. It's the collective being carried in this vessel. And that collective feeling, the water bearer is very keenly aware of it, knows its weight. And so, therefore, this water that the water bearer is pouring is very much connected to how that weight has to be released and set free in order for us to move forward as a collective. We have to release this collective pain, suffering idea and let it free, and it will point us in the direction we're going. So this is like for me using pain in a positive way. We're taking the thing that we know about ourselves, our collective condition as humans, and we are saying, you know what? If we pay attention to our pain, it points to our purpose. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is that the water bearer is there to create a formula that ends up being some kind of balm for society, a way to heal our wounds, to heal our suffering. So, this is the water bearer's wisdom. This is the water bearer's understanding, connection, telepathy of what it is that is seeing and also what it is that's being felt personally. And saying, as a person with vision, as a seer, as a person who understands what the future could look like, saying, hey, let me drop these formulas on y'all. Let me tell y'all what it is that can happen. And what I am sharing will point us in the direction of where to go. So, regardless of how you look at it, what perspective you're looking at, whether you're the water bearer or whether there are other people who are looking to the water bearer, what is being shared is something that provides sustenance. All right. So, if we're looking at this water bearer, taking this water and doing this, and then right now, let's take a look at what the planets are in this water bearing sign. Okay. So the transiting planets, the sun. So let's look at them as characters. I love to do this. So the sun is, this is like kind of like the big shot, right? It's almost like it's not really the big man on campus, so to speak, but it's kind of like the person that has the most aura, right? This is the person that has this big identity, solid personality, and it has its different colors, but it is solid and it is what it is about, right? It is the persona. It's what you see when you see this person. It's just that energy of who they are shining brightly, right? Then we've also got Mercury, but Mercury's traveling retrograde. So we've got the intellect, the Buddha, right? We've got the intelligent one, but the intelligent one is saying that some of those things that it's learning are part of its internal process right now. It's not all to be shared right now. It's not all going to be revealed at this time for the public to see. It is happening on a personal level. So this person is kind of like, yeah, I'm checking out everything that I'm seeing and I'm getting information about it. I'm learning things. I might even be doing things, but I'm going to keep that a little quiet. Everybody doesn't need to know where I'm going and what I'm doing right now because I am learning and I'm taking that inside, right? And then we go ahead and look at Rahu. And Rahu is definitely going to be that energy that is obsessed, that is like pointing towards a very certain thing, a very strong pull, like a gravitational pull towards something. So Rahu is like, is way beyond an advocate. It's like a fanatic almost, right? It's like a very, very strong force that can definitely take you away from the things that you were paying attention to and into the direction of its obsession. And then we also have Venus and Mars, which most people know as opposites, or as some people say, as masculine and feminine. But if we just look at this as these two characters are connected, right? They have some of the same things in common, but one is really about the appreciation and the harmony and the beauty of a thing, and the other is about the action that it takes. It's not really thinking about the feelings so much. It's really just like, this is where we're going, this is what we're doing, this is what I'm passionate about, and I'm about to get it. Now, I want you to think about that. Let's say all five of them are hanging out, right? They're all hanging out together. They're influencing each other. Somebody might influence Venus to be, just a little bit more, realistic, not so in the clouds. And, somebody might say, Mars, you should slow down a little bit, right? Maybe it's Mercury that says that, like, pump your brakes, right? So we got all of this happening together. So it's a lot of energy. It's an energetic cocktail. And then here is Aquarius, almost like the scientist in the lab tweaking formulas for society, right? So we got all of this energy working together. We got the people that want to do it, and then we got the energy that wants to see it, and then we have all of them together in an escape room or in a riot room. They're all on the same mission together, sitting together, enjoying each other together, exchanging ideas together, talking about the world together. And so, what is the result of that? How does that affect us here? What are we to do with that information? And my suspicion is we will be taken through a process that will make us think of what is the formula that is connected to the ideas that we're having so that we can contribute it to the collective. And I mean this differently based on where it is in your chart. So if this transit is happening, like for instance, in the third house of your chart versus the eighth house, that's going to feel a little bit different. So pay attention to what house is happening in your chart, but also pay close attention to the characters. The characters are important because they are all together in Aquarius. And so that energy is one of, yeah, it's unexpected. It could be a little eccentric. It might be more progressive leaning or thinking. It might also be connected to rebellion or disputes because of that Mercury being there retrograde. It might be a point of contention. It might be the point where you reset and you just say, you know what, forget about it. All of these things can be happening simultaneously. It's something that you can't really control. You can only synthesize. And so this synthesis that is happening is you making a decision about what and where you actually belong. And it's not a decision that you're doing just mentally. It's a decision that you are being magnetized toward. It is like the decision is almost kind of made for you, and you're going along for the ride to reach the thing that you already saw that you know you need to do. And so this is a different kind of energy. And the reason I'm saying this is because right now people are going to be feeling possibly a bit ungrounded. Again, based in the area where it is, you might feel a bit ungrounded. You might feel that you cannot sustain any participation in this. I just want to go hide. I just want to be somewhere where I don't have to think about all this. I don't have to hear all these people talking about this. I just want to go somewhere. And here's the news for you with that. You are making a master formula that will be utilized in the days to come. And you are making it from the most authentic and slightly pressurized place, which means you can't be comfortable here. You're not supposed to stay here. You are supposed to be moving and circulating this idea and this formula in the area as is indicated by your chart. This means that whatever it is that you are really good at doing, is asking you, is this connected to the people who would appreciate it most? Is this helping people? Are you circulating ideas and energy that is a contributing force to the collective? It's also asking you to pay attention to your own circulating ideas. What is going on with you and why are you still sitting on it? What is happening within that you need to release? And what wisdom do you have and insights do you have to go with it? What is it that your particular life has been showing you, expressing to you, and you are still digging your heels in the ground there because it would be too much change too quick? And I'm here to let you know, you want to flow with this process. This is your soul's process of realization. I want you to engage your mind in a way that is so open, receptive, and aware so that you are paying attention to the ebbs and flows of this change, not just out there at what other people are doing and what the social climate and political climate is, but I want you to pay attention to that personal ebb and flow. How much are you flowing actually? Yeah, right now you're coming up with the formula and the master plan, but I want you to also think about the fact that it will have to be actualized and it will be through you. It will be your instrument that will be the one that is making said change. And the beauty is on the other side of change and transformation are the gifts. The gifts that you already have, but you'll be able to use them, you'll be able to share them and give them and provide them. It's literally your time if this is very prominent in your chart, especially if some of the planets that are congregating there in the sky right now are planets that are congregating there in your chart. It's going to double down. So this is not a passive thing. It is known to be interruptive. And then it happening with Mercury in retrograde is known to create changes of view, changes of expectation. Like, don't expect anything to move linear right now. No, by the book right now. This is where you realize that what's on the page and what is in the process that you intellectually know is actually going to require your action. It's actually going to require your inner faculties to be able to integrate it. It is not going to be just something you can know. That is not going to be enough. And the reason why is because it is here to change you. It is here to reset. This is why in a couple of days, we have the moon that is going to be a full moon with a whole eclipse. We got a whole eclipse coming to the full moon. So it's waxing right now. So at this point of full illumination, it is also going to eclipse. What does that mean? That means that for a moment you get a reset because the way that you have been feeling, the things that have been driving your behaviors are in the process of changing. You have to realize that whatever it is that your ideas have been about, whatever it is that you've seen as yourself, may be rapidly changing. And then on top of that, Jupiter wants you to grow. Jupiter is like in close elbow relationship with the moon right here, right? So it wants you to grow. It's in a kind of conjunction already today, right? It wants you to grow. It wants to expand. But what is it expanding? That's why you have to pay attention to what Aquarius is saying. Pay attention to it. It will work with whatever is expanding, right? And so I want you to look at today and say, okay, so you're not saying anything that's bad. No, I'm not going to tell you what's bad. I'm going to tell you how to move with the energy. Don't fight it. I'm going to say flow with it. So here are the remedies that I suggest, which are general, but you can make specific. That will go with this particular conjunction all the way into April. One of the things you must do is find out how to flow. If you are a person that likes to force and control things, uh-oh. Okay. How to flow, right? How to flow is going to be about the ways in which not only your body, but also your mind, that mind body connection learns to adjust in real time in the moment, learns the meter and the metric of is that enough or is that not enough, learns to stop and pause instead of pushing and barreling through. So you're going to be paying attention to flow as it relates to this time period. Flow is important so that you can be adaptable and quick and nimble and think well on your feet. It is also important for you to clear out space. There's enough activity going on. You will have lots of ideas and insights. And don't you dare try and do them all in one way or pack your schedule or figure out what it means. It will be a slowdown with the change because of that Mercury placement. It's not going to just be straight to the answer. You will also have to take time to reflect and to pay attention to what you are being shown and told. That means use your aids, use the things that will help you. That means your journal, write, take notes, voice memo, talk it over with your therapist, talk it over with your friends, trusted people. Only people who really understand the nature of Mercury retrograde, though, because otherwise it's too many voices and it can create arguments. So you might want to spend more of that time with yourself, but if you need to externally kind of, talk it through with someone, then pick those trusted people. And those trusted people might be people that are like guides or astrologers or people that can provide consultation to some of your most, um, you know, present ideas. You also want to find yourself doing your daily habits. You want to look at your productivity and pay attention to what is taking your energy because it could be people online arguing, it could be being in other people's business. And that's not what this time is for. You're supposed to feel the pulse, but make sure you are staying in focus because you are in the process of realizing your vision and everything that happens aligns you with it. Because it was already out there, you saw it, and that's why you saw it, and you're walking backwards to make it happen in real time now. But there is some type of pause that you need to take because this is not a time to barrel through and do everything all at once. This is definitely a time where you are configuring and reconfiguring and possibly reimagining and disconnecting some. But I don't want you to feel ungrounded with the energy. A lot of Aquarius energy can make a person feel really loopy and ungrounded and definitely not attached to reality. It's kind of like floating in the sky. So I want you to have grounding practices. Your grounding practices are going to be those that are connected to your yogic practices. And if you don't have yogic practices, grab some. Flow, as we talked about, that could be you on your mat, that could be you dancing, that could be, your more meditative practice, such as Tai Chi or, Qigong, any kind of flowing movements will be great. But then also the meditative practice where you're actually still, because you do need to do that as well. Everything is not about taking a walk and going to look at things. Sometimes this is shutting your senses off and withdrawing your senses, right? Pratyahara. So you want to be able to look inside and close and shut everything down and focus and concentrate. And that focus starts to bring you right next to the things that have been trying to talk to you and try to reach you. So the more you're able to do that, the easier it will feel to align. But also pay attention to your sleep patterns. I know when it happens when we have a big full moon coming, my sleep patterns shift, but you have to double down. Okay, maybe I need to set an alarm or I need to program getting up at a certain time. Maybe I'll wake up with the sun or before the sun. And then maybe while I am trying to go to bed at night, maybe I need 2 hours before I go to bed to not look at my devices because I need to go to sleep so I can see because the psychic realm is also going to be very rich around a full moon. So these are the things that you definitely want to see and understand. You need to release some things, and we are being helped. I don't want you to think of this energy as just being destructive and chaotic and everything is going to go sideways. What if it does? Are you prepared and positioned to flow with it? Are you prepared and positioned to know the signals and know the difference between what is happening in other people and what is happening inside of you and what is your relationship? And that's what we are here to look at. So all of your practices, all of your grounding practices, I would even say make a meditative practice out of something that is more like a process. Something that you have to find a different formula in, whether that is cooking, whether that is approaching a creative project or a project that you're working on with people who don't know anything about this world, who are at work acting up. You refine your process and use it with your inner reflections and time alone. Okay. So I'm saying all that. That's just the icing on the cake. This is just the beginning of how to work with this energy. Perhaps there will be more videos to talk about it. Also, I have To the East, which is my self-study sidereal astrology program. If you want to know more about these topics and how to move through your own chart with ease, definitely sign up for To the East. We are starting in April. It'll be after this major conjunction has started to dissipate and started to separate and move into other configurations. But we will still be talking about who you are at the core, your identity, and what it is are your strengths and your constitution, and so forth and so on. So go to stacypatrice.com in order to sign up for that. In addition to that, I also do consultations. If you are looking for one of those people, then you can also hit me up. And my consultations are premium because I am going to drop it for you so that you understand it, right? So you can make those decisions and have those remedies based on your chart. And this is what we're looking at. So if you would like, share, subscribe, and definitely comment. Let me know what you're utilizing, what you're working through, how this particular time period is working for you. And I will see you in the comments and also in the next video. Peace.